Hey Formula One fans, guys, Red Bull is really feeling the pressure. The gap between their drivers is costing them big time, and look, time's running out. Could one of them be on their way out? Stay tuned because this story is about to heat up the paddock. And more. A former Formula One driver has spoken out and slammed the team for making mid-season driver changes. Could Red Bull's strategy be ruining the confidence of their own drivers? Stick with me because this criticism is sure to stir up some controversy. The news in the Formula One world is on fire, so don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated with all the latest Formula One news. Just press the subscribe button below the video. It's quick, free, and no sign-up is needed. This is F1 Fastline News, your daily Formula One news channel. Let's get straight to the point. Sergio Perez's situation at Red Bull has never been more delicate. The team has admitted that they can no longer afford such a big performance gap between their two drivers, especially with the growing threat from their main competitors like McLaren and Ferrari. Losing the lead in the Constructors' Championship to McLaren has already raised a red flag, and now, with Ferrari closing in dangerously, just 34 points behind, the pressure on Perez to deliver results is higher than ever. The points difference between Perez and Max Verstappen this season is staggering. While Verstappen has racked up an impressive 331 points, Perez only has 144. This disparity is a key factor in the team's performance in the championship. After the summer break, Perez was given a second chance, with Red Bull hoping he could step up at tracks where he traditionally performs better. However, his results have continued to fall short, with critical moments like losing a podium in Baku after a late crash with Carlos Sainz. Perez's underwhelming performance has serious implications. Red Bull is looking ahead and knows they need a strong driver duo to compete head-to-head with teams like McLaren, who boast a powerful pair in Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, and Ferrari, who are set to come out swinging next year, especially if the partnership between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton becomes a reality. The search for alternatives within Red Bull is already underway, with Liam Lawson being considered as a potential replacement for Daniel Ricciardo. Lawson has shown promise, and with the renewed trend of betting on young talent in Formula One, his chances of moving up to the main team in 2025 are real. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's advisor, pointed out that the philosophy of only promoting drivers with years of experience is outdated, and that youth has its place secured in the future of the sport. This shift in mentality within Red Bull is not just a response to internal pressure, but also a competitive necessity. With McLaren and Ferrari strengthening their driver lineups, Red Bull needs to ensure their pairing is equally solid and capable of consistently scoring points in every race. A second driver who can't keep up with Verstappen could cost valuable positions in the Constructors' Championship, where every point matters. That's why the team is willing to take risks and bet on younger talents, aiming for a more balanced partnership in the future. And it's not just Red Bull betting on young drivers. Names like Oliver Bearman and Franco Colapinto are also making a strong impression, showing that the new generation is ready to take on major responsibilities at top teams. Mercedes, for instance, has already made important decisions in this direction, reinforcing the trend that the future of Formula One will be shaped by these young talents. Now the question is, can Perez turn things around in time, or are we already seeing Red Bull's future being shaped around new names? Time is ticking, and every point lost could come at a high cost. Shifting gears. Meanwhile, the debate about Red Bull's trend of driver swaps isn't cooling down. Jenson Button, former Formula One driver and currently competing in the World Endurance Championship, WEC, was straightforward in criticizing the team for these changes, questioning whether this constant shuffling compromises the confidence of their own drivers. And who's in the spotlight now? Perez, of course. According to Button, this weird habit from Red Bull doesn't make much sense, as he believes a driver needs at least a full season to prove their true worth and show consistency in their performance. This behavior from Red Bull came into focus again last year when Daniel Ricciardo was called to replace Nyck de Vries in Red Bull's junior team, VCARB, formerly known as AlphaTauri, after the Dutchman didn't deliver the expected results. However, after a string of underwhelming performances from Ricciardo this season, Red Bull made yet another swap, promoting young Liam Lawson to take Ricciardo's place. This, however, is nothing new for Red Bull. The team has a long history of replacing drivers mid-season, dating back to their early years in Formula One. In 2005 and 2006, Christian Klien was also pulled from several Grand Prix. Reflecting on this, Button labeled this behavior as unusual and something he never experienced firsthand in his own career. What's interesting is that Red Bull's direct rivals, like Mercedes and McLaren, have never adopted a similar policy. These teams have never made driver changes based solely on performance during a season. Looking at Red Bull's history of driver swaps, Button admitted that this approach makes him uncomfortable. Speaking on the Sky Sports F1 podcast, he commented, "It's a funny thing because there's only one team that really brings drivers in mid-season, takes drivers out mid-season, or after 3 races, 6 races, and that team is Red Bull and RB. It's unusual, and I've never seen that in my career, unless someone's crashing the car every race, and then you think, you know what, we can't keep you in the car. So it's a weird one. I've never felt comfortable with it. I always thought a driver deserves a full season to show what they're capable of because that's what it's for, right? It's a championship, and it's about how many points you can score over the season, not just halfway through, but they've always done things differently." According to Button, this Red Bull approach puts even more pressure on the drivers, who in many cases don't have enough time to find their rhythm before being replaced. And right now, the focus is on Sergio Perez, who's under intense scrutiny. Despite renewing his contract with the team in June, Perez's lack of consistent results puts his situation in doubt, especially compared to his teammate Max Verstappen's dominance, who already has an impressive 7 wins in 2024. While Perez has yet to win a single race this season, his limited performance has directly impacted Red Bull's points tally in the Constructors' Championship. After the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, McLaren overtook Red Bull and took the lead in the championship, a significant blow to the Milton Keynes team. Perez's weak performance was one of the main factors that contributed to this loss of position. This issue is forcing Red Bull to rethink its long-term strategy, and the team seems to be seriously considering the possibility of bringing in a young driver alongside Verstappen in the future. The goal would be to ensure a more balanced driver pairing without the large gap in results that the team is currently facing between its 2 drivers. Liam Lawson, the young driver promoted to replace Ricciardo, is emerging as a potential piece of this new strategy. With the recent success of younger drivers at other teams and the growing bet on the next generation of talent, Red Bull might be leaning towards following this trend. After all, a balanced and consistent duo is essential to ensure the team can compete head-to-head with rivals like McLaren and Ferrari, who have been showing great strength in recent races. Now, the question remains, how far is Red Bull willing to go to fix this disparity between its drivers? And does Sergio Perez have any chance of turning things around before a possible drastic cut? How will the team handle the growing pressure for more balanced and consistent results? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Here we talk about Formula One with no beating around the bush, with strong opinions and tons of information. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and come be part of this passionate fan community. If you like this video, leave a like and share it with your fellow Formula One fans. Let's keep growing this community of F1 enthusiasts together. See you next time, speeding towards victory.